Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome. Welcome to another stream. Monday, September 19th. Who's worth passing? Yeah, what a terrible game, huh, Adam? Hey, we found a way to win. That's a game that the Giants would usually lose. So happy to see them figure out a way to win those tough games. So hey, I'll take it. I'm very happy. They still don't look good, but you know what? It's better than I would have expected to start this year. So morning, guys. Yeah, Jacksonville, Duval. What a big win for them. What's going on, Chef? Yeah, I mean, you don't expect the Bears to win that game, really, Mike? Do you? I think that was sort of set. I felt like that's what was going to happen. Yeah, I see it, Gianni. Thank you, man. All right. So let's get it started today. So today we have some downside in the pre-market, about 1%. We have not broken below Friday's lows, which is something to be aware of. Friday's lows were pretty strong. They held multiple times on multiple tests. So we are down this morning, but we have not broken those lows. So that is something to pay attention to there. That Friday low on both the ES and NASDAQ. We'll look at that. We'll get ready for, some technical levels. We'll get ready for what levels to watch. And the biggest thing this week, guys, is you have FOMC. You have Jerome Powell speaking on Wednesday. So do we see, a pretty quiet market until Wednesday? That is definitely possible. Do we get chop before Jerome Powell speaks, before we get that FOMC decision? Very possible, right? So, today, tomorrow might not be a bad day to just sort of watch and sort of see if there's any movement. If it's pretty choppy before that rate decision and before Jerome Powell speaks, totally possible. I'm going to probably keep it pretty light for the first 2 days of this week. See if there's any type of clear direction on Wednesday, and then maybe we can play off that direction into Thursday, into Friday. So very interesting. This week, you got big economic data on Wednesday, right in the middle of the week. So what does the first half of the week look like? What does the second half of the week look like? That's sort of how we have to approach this week. Basically a week of two different potential moves. So it could be a lot of volatility, which is good for us as traders. We just have to protect ourselves, guys. Protection, risk management keeps you in the game. That's why I'm still here after 10 years of trading. The reason I'm still here trading, being able to, protect the portfolio, being able to manage my risk, being able to understand that it's not overnight success. That's what it's all about. So let's go ahead and get started. 19th. I can't believe it's almost October, then it's almost November, then it's almost December, then it's almost 2023, which is crazy. Economic earnings calendar. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. Pull that up here. All right. So today's the 19th. Nothing much on the 19th. Some home builders index. Nothing crazy. I don't think much of a market move there. Nothing much tomorrow. You got building permits, housing starts. So, we'll relate to the real estate market. I don't know how much it sort of influences the overall stock market, especially with this Wednesday news, right? So Federal Reserve statement at 2 p.m., right? And then Fed Chair Jerome Powell news at 2:30. That's his press conference after the statement at 2. So this is everything. This is the most important part of the week. This is what we have to be watching for, and this is what you have to protect yourself for. You cannot be swinging a large percent of your portfolio into this type of event, right? That's just asking to be decimated. Thursday, initial jobless claims. I don't think much of a reaction off that. I think most of the reaction will be off Federal Reserve. Friday, manufacturing PMI. He's speaking at 2 p.m. on Friday as well, Zach? Okay. I don't have that on here, but that might be on a different economic calendar. I'll make sure to check in on that before we get towards that event on Friday. But the big one, guys, Wednesday, 2 o'clock, 2:30. That's the big one. All right. Our earnings calendar, I don't think... Do we have anything on the earnings calendar? Let's see. We got Costco, FedEx. Let's go ahead and pull that up. We have some home builders, Lennar, KB Home, some home builders on Wednesday. Thursday after close, we got Costco, FedEx, and we got Darden. Darden's a big restaurant brand. So Darden, Costco, FedEx, those are your big ones right here. Yeah, wasn't FedEx last week? Did they report early? Or was that not an earnings report? That wasn't an earnings report, was it? What was that? I wasn't really interested in the whole FedEx stuff, so I never even looked into it. Okay, so they just did a warning of the economic trends on FedEx. They didn't actually report earnings. They sort of did like a pre-earnings, like get ready for some. They reported earnings? Are you sure? I don't think they reported earnings. I think they did a little like get ready for some bad things type of thing. I don't think they actually reported earnings, guys. I think they just, it says they released a where is it? I missed economic warning, a warning on economic trends. So they did a little like, hey, watch out because we're coming in with some bad stuff. That's what they did. So no, not their actual earnings. Now, do I expect this to be the move? Probably. I would not say that I wouldn't say you get another big move off of earnings. So, they basically just sort of gave you the warning already. So FedEx, where the hell is it? There it is. FedEx, Costco, and Darden. All right. That's that. Let's continue. Tesla, I'll look at the channel that Tesla's in. We'll look at NVIDIA. This 133 level is real big. Major rejection points here at 133. Energy this morning. CL down about 2% this morning, guys. Oil futures. So energy is getting hit a little bit. Let's take a look at that. Apple stair steps continue to look fantastic. Very clean Apple stair stepping to the downside. And I want to show you guys, again, this because we looked at this on Friday. We talked about how well it was respecting its levels, and it did it again. So Apple, Snow, congrats, guys. If you caught that 200 rejection on Snow, we nailed that in the chat. We were here in the pre-market live stream talking about that 200 rejection, talking about that double top. I played puts on it on Friday. Really clean. I mean, this thing just melted on Friday morning. So awesome Snow trade. I got out a little bit early. I was happy with my profits. I wanted to get out of here early, guys. As I said in the live stream on Friday, I want to be out. I want to enjoy my weekend. So I got out probably a little bit earlier than I should have, but I was happy with the profits. Very nice trade on Snow, and you probably might be able to catch more today. So I want to show you that on Snow. Amazon 125, Coinbase 7350 level looks interesting for a gap fill rejection. And then finally, Google and Microsoft. Microsoft's breaking a huge 4-hour channel. It's right on the line. And then you guys seen what happened to Google after it broke that channel. So watching these two names today as well. All right. Let's do it. NASDAQ. All right, guys. So here's the clear thing that's happening on NASDAQ. It's clear as day. And this is why I said clear rejection. This is why the channel of the live stream says clear rejections. Look at what's going on here on the hourly chart. It's just, it's pretty easy to read. And you guys can see it right here. So previous lows of 11,920, right? This was our previous low last week low. This was the low of Tuesday. This was Tuesday of 2 weeks ago now. So here's Tuesday of last week. Here's Tuesday of 2 weeks ago. Look at this clear low here at Tuesday 2 weeks ago. Right there. That is on the 6th of September. And you can see we broke it. We came back into it Friday. And you can see the rejection that's happening today. So There's absolutely no reason to be bullish on the market on any stock today, in my opinion, if you are below 11,920. It's as easy as that. Make it simple for yourself. If the NASDAQ, if the ES are not above 11,920, then why are you being bullish? Why are you looking for longs below this major supply level? You can clearly see it rejected it already. This is a clean as day rejection here at a previous low. This is now your very easy to read supply that if you push into it, you will most likely see rejections. So why try to trade upside in a market that is creating stair-stepping moves to the downside that is clearly weak? Very easy to read today. Very cookie cutter supply or support into a rejection. It makes it easy for yourself. So if you're below 11,920, I would only look for rejections on the market. If you are above 11,920 and you turn this into support, then I would look for potential upside, right? If you can make this previous rejection point into support, then you have the market on your side. Trade on the side of the market, right? If the market is below 11,920, you're more than likely going to see rejections like this. Even if you don't even get to 11,920, if you get above 11,920, right? Then you see a support there. Then you go long, right? Then you have your very nice break and retest to the upside. Then the market is on your side. But as of right now, guys, it's clear 11,920 is your rejection point. Previous lows into supply this morning in the after hours on Friday and clearly this morning. Very nice downside move. And that's really what I'm looking for. So if I see another push into 920 today, if I start seeing some rejections up here at 920, I would more than likely play this downside once again. If I see us break 920, if I see some strong price action today, then maybe some upside. But, we got to watch this channel. So 11,920, this entire zone here, to the lows of around 11,780. That was Friday's lows, which you can see are holding on relatively strong. If I go down to the 5-minute chart, here is the 5-minute chart, guys. You can see the clear rejections above right here in this whole zone. And you can see the demand that's trying to step in around this 780, 800 level. So you have demand down here at 800 and you have rejections up here around 920. I would trade the channel until it doesn't work, right? This is something that we talk about in the Discord. Trade the channel until it doesn't work, right? Because it's working now. So if you want to maybe try to take longs off 800, which I would probably be cautious of, I would rather play the rejections off 920, right? I would rather play the rejections off 920. So watch out for this channel today, guys. 920 to 800. That's your little zone. I don't think we trade outside of this today. We could, right? We could. But into FOMC, I would maybe just anticipate a little bit of choppiness, a little bit of silent action until Wednesday. If we trade within this range, I would not be surprised today. Let me go ahead and say that. If we trade within this range today, I would not be surprised. If we just chop in here, just like we did on Friday. So watch 800, watch 920. That's your range. In between that, guys, it's unknown. I would just look to trade the range. ES, same thing. 1 hour chart. Here it is. You guys can see. Go ahead and delete that. Last Tuesday, or 2 weeks ago on Tuesday, the 6th of September, where did we find support? Right here at 3,900. We bounced off of it. We came back down. We broke below it. Where did we find rejections on Friday? Clear as day, 3,900. So, just a clean break and retest. Once again, previous support into a rejection. Break, retest, rejection. Very clear, very easy, really defined. So that's what I like to see, right? When these levels make sense, it gives me some confidence intraday. So if I see a push into 3,900 today, that's where I'll be looking for rejections. If I go to the 5-minute chart, right, you can see the ES is trying to hold on to this low. It's a little bit sloppier than the NASDAQ, but it's trying, right? Right around this 3850. You guys can see right in this general area, it is attempting its best to hold on to this 3850. If we start losing this level today, then yeah, we're going to have some slippage. If we find some demand off this 3850, I would love to play this rejection. Let's get a little fake push in the 3,900 today. Let's get a little triple top action just like we did. Where was that? We did that on... Did we do that on... Yeah, that was right here. That was on Thursday of last week. You guys remember this day? This was clean. We caught this one. So we had that, right? We had that previous rejection on Wednesday. We had this pre-market rejection here on Wednesday after hours into Thursday pre-market. We pushed into that in the morning on Thursday morning. We rejected it beautifully. Let's get the same thing. Let's get a little fake push into 3,900. Let's get a little triple top action, and then let's sell that thing right back down. I would love to play that. That would be a great play. So I'll be watching that. I'm going to be a little bit cautious, like getting real aggressive on shorts at demand here. I don't, I'm not really wanting to play. I mean, I'll play the flush. Right? If we get the flush, I'll play the flush. But I would rather be shorting into some kind of push into rejections up here. That would be better to me. That would give me better risk reward, right? Better risk reward up here if we can sell into this rejection up here. All right? So that's NASDAQ. That's ES. I think a pretty clear game plan today, guys. You got 3,900 on the upside rejections. You got 3,850 downside support. If that 3,850 fails, then look for it to turn into a resistance. Dow, same thing. I would assume. I haven't even looked at the Dow today, but I would assume it's the same exact thing. It sure is. Look at this. So you have previous support. You have previous support. What did you do? You broke the support. You turned it into a rejection. Clear as day. Break and retest. Everywhere. It happens everywhere. It's all you need to know. I mean, it's just everywhere. So break, retest. Forget about the RSI. Forget about the MACD. Forget about the best indicator, the buy sell signal, blah blah blah. Break and retest. Previous support into rejection. Gorgeous. All right. So that's your rejection point. You can clearly see it here. You have a previous support that turned into a rejection. Downside this morning on the Dow. It's trying to hold on to this low, 30,650, 30,600, all this general area. I wouldn't say it's too strong right now. You can clearly see it's starting to lose it. But I would be careful of it, right? You can do some crazy stuff at these lows. You could see some kind of crazy green candle that could stop you out. So I would just be a little bit cautious at the lows. Right, I'd rather be selling into the rejection than trying to, short the low break. So watch out for these lows, 30,650, 30,600. You can see we sort of traded in this channel. And then if you get a push today, I would watch for the rejections up here around 31,000. That's your clear rejection point. All right. Russell. What's the Russell up to? I haven't looked at the Russell at all. 4 hour. Yeah, it looks like the Russell is just sitting at a huge support level. I mean, it needs to hold here, right? That's a major flush point right here at this. What is this? 1780. Big support that needs to hold. You have a previous high here. You have a previous high here. And you have a double bottom coming in on the Russell. If that does not hold, then you know where we're headed. So a little double bottom on the Russell. You tried to hold this area on Friday, right around this 1780. I would just watch the 1780 level today, guys. You can see that's exactly where we found support. If you flush under that, you might be able to get some downside on the Russell. But I don't really watch the Russell. So NASDAQ, once again, 11,780, 11,920. That's your channel today. ES, 3850 to 3900. Okay? Look for break and retest of both sides. If you break down below the support here on the ES, look for it to turn into a rejection, right? Show that previous support is turning into a rejection. If you get something like this, right, you break the 3850, you come down, maybe you come back into it, you start to trade back into it, maybe intraday, you see something like that, you start to see the rejection step in, you start seeing some lower highs get built, something like this, sell it here, look for that move back to the downside. Right? That's all you're looking for. You don't get in on sells here. Get back in up here. Right? All right. Using Control Z, it might be a little bit quicker than me pressing and deleting all these lines. All right, guys. So that's the futures. Tesla. My camera isn't plugged in, so I'm watching the percentage on the battery life. It's at 63%. I think we'll get through it. All right, Tesla, very clear today. I like Tesla. Now, why do I like Tesla today? All right, here's the 5-minute chart. You guys can see we had previous support here around this 301, right? Support came in around 301. We bounced off of it. We had a little double bottom. Bounced to the upside on Thursday. We broke below it on Friday, right? Break below it on Friday. Push back into it Friday morning. Look at the rejection at 301. Beautiful. Previous support into a rejection. Break and retest. It's showing up everywhere. Nice break and retest. Back to the downside, right? Support back at 297. We pushed back into it on Friday. We did get above it, and we actually held it as support Friday afternoon. So this is a nice little break and retest to the upside, turning it into support. Closed pretty strong on Friday. Obviously, market's down this morning. Look at the gap down below 301. Look at what happened this morning. 301. Perfect rejection. So what am I looking for today? I am looking for Tesla to push into 301. I'm looking for it to reject here, and I'm looking to trade it back to 297. If it is strong today, I'm looking for a push above 301, a hold of 301, and a potential gap fill. That's really the only two things I'm looking for today on Tesla. Either a gap fill up into that 303. I would need to see a 301 retest to the upside, or I look for a rejection at 301 and trade it back to the channel low at 297. That's it. That's all I'm looking for on Tesla today. It's all based off 301. That's the clear level. That's the key level. Either a break and retest above or below 301 is what I'd look for today. All right. That's Tesla. NVIDIA. 1 hour chart. You guys know what level we need to look for. It's clear as day. 133. Look how clean this is. Previous support, previous support, previous support, previous support. What is it doing? It's turning into a rejection, 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 rejection. It doesn't get any better than this. You guys can see support into rejections. Beautiful. So what's the key level? 133. If you see a push into 133, I would look to sell it until it doesn't work. I would sell it every time until it doesn't work, right? The one time it doesn't work, you get stopped out, you take your loss, you move on. So that's what I would look for on NVIDIA. I would look to sell 133. That's where you are clearly rejecting. That's previous support into resistance. If you can get a push into 133, I think that's a great entry. Good risk reward. If you're wrong, so be it. As long you're not losing much money, you're losing money, right? This is how you lose money. You get in on a rejection to 301, right? Let's say it breaks out. You get stopped out right above 301. Maybe you give it a little bit. Maybe you give it 133.50. All right, you stopped out, 50-cent loss. This is where people lose a lot of money. They say, I don't care, I'm going to hold it. Boom. 144, you lose your whole portfolio. Stop out over trust your stops. I would not want to be in a short here if it's above at least one, I would say maybe 133.50 you give it at the very most. 133.50, maybe this exact low here. This is your zone to try to play rejections. If you're wrong, it's a small loss. If you're right, this could be a very nice little sell off the supply. So 133, 133.50, that's what I'm looking for on NVIDIA today. /CL, big downside this morning on oil futures. You're down about 3% right now. So big time downside on oil futures. You guys can see the oil futures have been getting hit in general for a long time now. You can see just sort of this slide over the last 2 to 3 months. So oil futures down again. What's the lows here? Lows are around this 81.50 level. I would watch XLE. You guys can see XLE big flush under this key 79 level. I would say if the oil futures continue, you could probably see a move back into the 70, right? I wouldn't expect there to be much support in this zone. So I would say you're probably going to trade back within this channel. So could you see XLE back down to 70? I think that's possible if it's under this zone. So XLE, maybe more continuation there. CVX is at a key level today as well. You guys can see right here, 155. You have a bunch of support at 155. If the oil futures continue, if the energy sector stays weak, look for that move under 155. You could trade back down to the 140s. XOM, that's another one. You guys can see this was a very strong support that continued to hold around this 92, 94, and you are below it today. So what would I look for? I sort of like this setup the most, to be quite honest. I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. I'm going to get a little bit more time here, and I'm going to show you what I would look for. So I would look for, I'm going to get maybe a little bit more. I want the 15, but I want more time. So let's go 15-minute. Let's get like 180 days. There we go. All right. So I would look for 92, right? That would be my level, 92, right here. I would put a little zone at 92. What would I look for? You can see we're below 92 this morning. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Zoom in. This is what I'd look for. Boom. 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 That's what I'd look for today on XOM. Previous support, 92, into rejections. And I would look for that rejection point at 92 on XOM. That's if the energy sector is still weak today. So watch out for that. /CL down almost 3%. XOM, XLE, CVX, Oxy, all your energy names should be down this morning. Yeah, let me take a look at those solar names. They still holding up pretty well? Yeah, they are. And look at that little retest on FSLR. I was trying to trade this thing back a few weeks ago, but it's been a little bit choppy. But this looks pretty damn good still, guys. Look at this. I mean, that's a pretty nice little hold. Look at that break and retest on FSLR, guys. So I would watch this. If that solar sector stays hot, which it is, you guys can see rejection, 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 rejection. Look at this support bounce on Friday. Gorgeous. Boom. Right off 130. Right off 130. So you need a break of that 140. That's clear, right? That 140 is tough. But if you can maybe try to get in closer to the 130, that could be nice. What's end phase looking like? Yeah, look at this break and retest on end phase. That 305 level, solid. So you guys can see, look at these rejections at 305. You look at these supports that came in, multiple support levels at 305. Go to the 4-hour. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty solid on end phase as well. That is a perfect previous high rejections into support. So, yeah, I'd watch solar today again. I mean, obviously, it might be tough to get it to move higher with the weak market, but it's clearly shown its strength, right? Relative outperformance is a big thing, guys. Relative outperformance is a big thing. So, relative outperformance on these solar names. So, previous rejections into support. It's a decent risk-reward setup. Just know that you are very extended. You're at all-time highs pretty much. So you got to understand that maybe you scale down here. Maybe you take something small. You know, this isn't a all-in type of trade. Maybe you take a little, take a small long with the stop under 305 and look to see if you can get that break and retest. But, yeah, still strength on those solar names. What was next? Apple? Yeah, Apple's next. So I don't know if you guys remember, but we were talking about stair steps here on Friday. And we were talking about how clean this downside action on Apple was. And we can see it just happened again. I mean, it just did it again. Very nice. So break, retest, previous rejections into rejections. Now, where did the support come in, right? 153.50. Support, 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 and support. What happened after we broke the support? Break, retest, rejection. Where did the support come in? 151.60. What happened after we broke that support? Break, retest, rejection on Apple. This is just a stair-stepping pattern to the downside. Just think about someone that is stepping down the stairs. Boom, boom, boom. Just perfect retest rejections every time. What would be your next play? You'd look for the downside break of 148. You'd look for the comeback into 148. You'd look for the previous support to turn into a rejection. You would sell it right here, and you would look for that exact same pattern once again. So just really clean action here on Apple, right? Every single previous support has been broken and has turned into a rejection. So does that happen today? That's what I'd look for. Apple does seem to be wanting to hold this 148 level, which is, if we go back to the 4-hour, it's a pretty big level at 148. It's right at these previous lows and highs right here. It's a little bit of a zone around 148, also a psychological level. So I would be cautious of 148, previous support into rejection, previous rejection here, previous support here. So it looks like 148 could be a solid level, but you guys know what to do. You know what to do. If you get a break of 148, you look for the retest, you look for the rejection, and you look to sell it off the retest rejection. Very easy. If you don't break 148, if you don't retest it and turn it into a rejection, then the play's not there. Right? The play's not there unless you break it, you retest it, and you turn it into a rejection. Then the play's there. Right? The same way it's done this every single time. Previous support, you break it, you retest it, selling off. Right here, previous support, you break it, you retest it, you sell into it. Every single time. All right, that's Apple. Very nice, very clear. Snow. So, congrats, guys. This was sick. This was a sick play. 200 rejection. I don't know if you guys remember this, but on the daily chart, we were looking at the same exact wicks from this rejection. We talked about, look at how identical the wick here was on Friday. On Thursday. The wick that Snow showed on Thursday was the exact same wick that showed here on the 26th of August. And look at the reaction off that wick. 15% downside off an identical wick that we saw on Thursday of last week. I would look for more downside here. I think this is potentially day one of more downside. You could move back down to this gap fill level. Maybe you move down to 168. Maybe you even fill the gap down towards 160. It's identical. Look at this little double top. Look at those two wicks. We caught that on Friday. Congrats, guys, if you did. What would I be looking for an entry today? Very clear, right? 185 break and retest. Previous support, 185. You gap down. Look for the pushback in the 185. Look for a sell at that 185. If you don't get the 185 rejection, which is possible, right? If you do not get the retest of 185, let's say Snow just sells off today, then you're just going to have to watch the 9 EMA for entries, right? If it's just real weak, I would maybe look for this little low break around 181, and I would just use that 9 EMA to just ride that baby to the downside. Why do I say that? Let me go ahead and show you what happened on Friday. 9 EMA. Apply that. Look at this Friday move, guys. 9 EMA. We got it right here. I caught this right here, guys, on Snow. This was sick. Look at this little retest intraday. Little break, little retest, little 9 EMA rejection. That was gorgeous. Caught that for downside right here. I think I got out around right here, which it was about a 30-40% move on 0 DTE, which was awesome. But look at how it respected that 9 EMA. As soon as it broke above it, you get out for your winner, right? It did get back below it. It did sort of trend slightly, but not really enough. Not much of a trend here. So I think right here was your best exit, right on this candle that breaks the 9. So real nice. I would watch it. I like it. I would look for more downside. Just looking at that double top. Maybe it holds 180 today. Maybe not. But I think it's a good setup. All right. Amazon. So Amazon broke a big level here around this 125. That's the level I would keep on watch, guys. If you can get a pushback in the 125, I would look for a sell into the 125. If you can get a push in the 125, look for rejections into the 125. I think that's a very clean level to play off of. You broke below it on last week. You tried to get back above it. You rejected it. So you have previous highs here, previous support here. And if you get back into 125, I would look for that rejection. Look for the 125 rejection. And I think Amazon will probably trade down to that 115. You guys can see, I think this is still part of that gap fill. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, it's sort of filled the gap right around this 120. But I would say if you reject, pretty clean here. If you push back into 125, right? If you reject it here, then I would look for that move into that 115. Okay? That is pretty much identical to what it did here, right? You pushed into that previous high, rejected it, or previous support into a rejection, right? You pushed back into it, rejected again. Previous support into a rejection. I would look for that rejection off 125 and try to sell it into that 115. That's what I'll be watching on Amazon. Coin real weak today because of crypto. I think crypto might have gapped down or something like that. But here's what I'd look for. I would look for the gap fill rejection. Yeah, a little bit of government news, right, over the crypto market. I think I heard that. I would look for the gap fill rejection. If coin can fill this gap, this would be an awesome play. Little 73.50 rejection, previous support, right? Previous support. If you can push in to fill that gap from this morning, push into that 73.50, maybe put in a little double top, triple top action, 73.50. Look for that sell into that retest. That's what I'll be watching today. And then finally, Google and Microsoft. Google has been extremely weak. Probably one of the weakest. I mean, maybe NVIDIA might be the weakest, but Google has also been real weak here. You guys can see that 4-hour downtrend or 4-hour channel break. All right, support, 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 into support, 4-hour channel. You broke it. Look how clean this retest was. Man, that was really nice. Look at this retest on Google. Previous support into rejection at 106. That is just textbook stuff. Selling into it. 104. I think that's the level I'd watch today. 104. All right, if you can get a pushback into this previous low, into 104, I would look for the rejections there. Push into 104, turn this into a rejection. Would love to see that. So 104 is the level I'm watching for Google for continued downside. I'll be careful shorting it under, a low a day break. I'd rather get it to push into previous supply and reject again. Finally, Microsoft. This is a huge day for Microsoft. Why do I say this? Because you are sitting at a crucial level here, guys. This is going to be pretty interesting on Microsoft. You have a low of 2022 at 241.50, and you have a candle that is sitting right at those levels today. So if I zoom out, you got 241.50, which is the low of this year, and you are sitting right at it today. So do you get a flush under the 2022 lows, or do you find demand at this level? I think this is a must watch today. I think this is very influential. I think this is something that you could definitely play. If you get a little break and retest of the 2022 lows, then I'd look for continuation. If you get some kind of demand off this level, then I'd look for some, short-term scalps. But 2022 lows, Microsoft 241.50, big level. I would watch it today. Prepare for that, in my opinion. All right, can we get some likes on the stream? 1,400 people, 200 likes. Damn. Can we get some likes on the stream? That would be fantastic. If you guys enjoyed some of those charts that I just showed you, if you guys are, liking some of these setups, preparing for your morning, press that like button. I do this every morning. Subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. Let's go to the tickers that you guys want to look at. I'm sort of enjoying like the 840, 845 exit here. I think it's a good, not to stick around and talk about unnecessary things. Some days we get on some tangents, which sometimes people like. So, can't avoid that. I like the tangents sometimes, but Netflix upgrade. All right, that's what we're looking at. Netflix upgrade. Wow. Oh, shit. Yeah, look at that. Hey, I'm in a Netflix swing trade so I don't know if you guys remember this. If you've been a long-time subscriber of the channel, you might remember from back in April, I bought a Netflix 400 call for December expiration. I bought those back here in April, right here, after this big drop. So right after this big drop in April, on the second huge downside move off earnings, I bought a December 400 call. I don't know if anyone remembers that. But yeah, hey, if this goes up, I'm happy. And I have a lot of shares down here around this 185 area. So, hey, it looks, I personally always, I believe Netflix comes back. I think Netflix is too big of a company to not figure out a way to come back, right? I don't think Netflix goes anywhere. So I'm someone that's been buying shares of Netflix. I don't see why you wouldn't. So upgrade from Netflix. I don't know how much that moves it. It definitely is this morning. I like the whole ad idea. I think the market likes the whole ad idea. The stock market loves ad revenue, right? If you say ad revenue for any company, the stocks go up, right? It's like instantaneous. So ad revenue is a positive for a stock. For investors, they love it. So ad revenue for Netflix could be a very good thing for them. They'll definitely see a boost in their top line from this. I don't know about their bottom line, but definitely their top line should get a boost from ad revenue. We'll see how they can correlate it down to the bottom line. I don't know, right? I don't know how they're doing their profit margins, but I would say 250, guys. I think that's the big level to watch here, 250. If you break 250, you are in a huge gap here. Now, can it really move up in a weak market? That would be very surprising to me. I don't know. Like, can Netflix fill a gap when the market's going down? That would be astonishing to me. Something I would never expect. But hey, the market has done things that I haven't expected a lot this year. So it's about a 25% gap on Netflix. If you break 250, I would like it more. However, I do not see how Netflix can fill this gap in a market that is moving to the downside. That would be something. You could try to reject. You could try to play the 250 rejection, right? You could try to, if you think this is a bullshit move this morning, which it may or may not be. It's definitely pretty strong this morning. You might be able to play the 250 rejection. All right, if you think it does not get into that gap, that could be something to watch intraday up at this 250. You could see, you could look for that. But I would let it cool down, right? You don't want to short into something that's very strong here, which it clearly is. So watch 250. Watch 250. That's what I'd look for. 250. Not 350, 250. All right, guys. That's all I got. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I can't see my... I can't see the scroll wheel over here on the left side. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Before you head out, Thursday, I may or may not be here. Friday, I'm definitely not here. So Friday, no live stream for sure. Thursday, maybe like an early live stream. So maybe like 7:30 to 8. Would you guys be all right? I mean, maybe 7:30. I know that's like crack of dawn for you guys on the West Coast. That's like, what, 4:30? So maybe like... If it's at 8, it's like 8 to 8:15, maybe 8 to 8:30, pushing it 8:30. But definitely not Friday. I won't be here. I'm going to New York again to see family. So I've been to New York a lot of times this week or this year. But I'm going to be back there seeing family. Enjoy it quite a bit. So going to do that. So I won't be here Friday. Thursday is possible. But today, tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to be here. So thank you guys for being here. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.